Yo!
Hey Melvo, how you doing?
Hey Melvo.
How are you, gents?
Yeah, all good, thanks. How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm good. I've just been out for a little stroll.
Representing the Defected colours over there.
I know.
Yeah, do you know what? Before we came on today, I thought, I'm wearing a Defected hoodie. Should I take this off? And then I just thought, it's and that's it.
Have you been out working out in that, or just out for a stroll, Melvo? You just been out for a wander?
Well, my little nephew at the moment, he's 14 and he's got himself in this right little rut of playing Fortnite on the computer all night. and he actually is awake all night and tries to sleep during the day. So the last couple of weeks, I thought, right, I'm walking around there and I'm getting you every day at this time. We're going for a walk, get his legs moving again, get his brain working. So yeah, I just really go out just to keep his mind a bit
probably
active.
devastated that you're tearing my way for Fortnite.
He is. Can't believe I'm that uncle already. I didn't think that would happen to me, but I am.
I play that with my niece as well. Just it's good to connect with them a bit. I'll actually play a bit of Fortnite, but man, you lose your life on that game a little bit, don't you? You lose your money as well if you start buying everything.
Can you imagine that game was around when all of us were 10 and 11 years old? Like, we just would have been exactly the same as that.
We were kind of the same with GoldenEye back in the day. Loved GoldenEye.
That's a classic, John. We're getting into gaming talk now. Forget the music, lads. We're getting into gaming talk.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
No, I've been trying to do the same. I've been trying to do a Sean T workout to get my ass in gear after Christmas, and it is punishing me. Honestly, Melvo, I'm dying over here. I'm not going to lie. I can hardly walk, but I'm getting there.
I know, but you quickly realise how important it is just for your mental health, just to get something going.
Absolutely. I've been doing a lot of running and stuff just to keep things going.
Yeah, that's it. And it's because you give yourself every excuse why you don't need to do it. You're like, gyms are closed and this and that, but you actually feel so much better for getting out a little bit.
Definitely. So have you been keeping yourself busy over the last year then? I see you've been busy with the live streams and all that sort of stuff.
Busy, man.
Yeah, really busy. Do you know what? It's just been such a roller coaster for all of us.
Yeah.
And it's been really hard to plan, to say, right, next month is this, or in 2 months is this. So we've all just been adapting really and just flowing with it. But yeah, I've been busy. I've had lots going on. The radio shows continued as normal, which I'm sure we'll get into later.
Yep.
We started a new radio show, The Remedy, label coming with that. We've committed to quite a few live streams. So I've still found myself busy day to day in the world of music, which is good.
Yeah, it's kind of like you get held back in some ways and you think, right, I'll throw all the energy into something else that you probably wouldn't have normally focused so much on. You know, it's been an interesting year or so, hasn't it? Yeah,
I agree. And I think it's just been a year of adapting, and whoever can adapt best will kind of stay alive in this, but it hasn't been easy for anyone.
Totally. Yeah. It's like you're saying, it's really difficult to plan anything right now because things can change just from day to day right now, you know. So from your point of view, how are you guys actually dealing with that sort of in the week to week type thing in terms of like what we're going to do next year?
So I think early on, that was very much their attitude. Like, some record labels are not event based; they're just record labels.
Yeah.
So I was speaking to, say, Mark at CR2, and it doesn't change their business that much. It's harder to promote records, but it doesn't change their business. With us, we have a big events business, so it changed drastically. So I think early on, it was about us saying, right, let's just see what's going to happen next. So the events team were still in situ, and the focus was obviously heavily on the other side of the business there, which is making records and releasing really good music. So for us, two things: the event side of the business obviously is super quiet, and we're going to wait until we can be back in clubs before that side gets going again properly. But in terms of the A&R side of the business and releasing records, we've been just as busy. I mean, the type of record you're releasing might change a little bit. A lot of club records, it may not be a great time for them to be released. They need clubs, they need Shazam, they need. In terms of us and our activity in releasing records, it's been pretty much the same, to be honest. We've been fairly active.
I think in some ways it's played into the hands of Glitterbox in a way, because it was great when you emerged with that desire for people to find that uplifting music, and then this hit, and that desire just grew, I think, didn't it? And all of a sudden, I think people are appreciating that type of music more. And Glitterbox, you guys just seem to have embraced it in a way, you know, with the virtual streams. Especially. Yeah,
it's funny you say that about the streams. The very first one that we did at Ministry, and things were so shaky there, like no one knew what was coming. It was even, I remember driving to Ministry and there was rumours that Boris was going to shut everything down that day. So no one knew what was happening. And in the moment, I was thinking, what are we doing? Like, why don't we just go sit at home, chill? Let's see what Boris says. Why do we always have to be the ones up there first doing this stuff? But we did it. We got away with it. And it is actually one of those moments that are really special, because it was like, like, right, this is what the next year is going to look like. But we just didn't realise it at the time.
Those live streams are pretty incredible. You guys have went all out with those.
Yeah. The live streams are great.
I can't imagine the effort that goes into that.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. So there's so many different things I could talk about with the live stream. Just as a DJ, it's a weird thing. Like, you guys have obviously played some, and it's a weird thing. You're like, how do I play? Am I trying to make you dance? Am I trying to just play you great music? Yeah. Am I trying to play new records? How many streams have I got online already? Do they think I just play this? You're battling with yourself.
Yeah.
You go through all these different things. So that's one part of it. The great part is for us, if we have records that are coming out, you can't play them in the clubs to get them out anymore. So if you have a live stream, it's great. You can play the record there and people get to know about it. And fortunately, we got a great team, and we got great videographers. We got people with great eye for detail, and they can make the sets look amazing. And it helps a lot on YouTube.
Yeah, the sets are incredible. You've got the dancers on the stage and everything happening. You really went all out for it.
You know, one bad thing.
Sorry?
Sorry, where did you say, where is it based?
Yeah, the Glitterbox one. Where is that actually based? It looks like it's inside like a funnel or something. It's got I forget the name of it. It's in is it North London or Islington's Music Hall or something? I think initially, at the moment, it's like a big concrete bunker and it's doing nothing. Right. And it feels like a bomb's gone off, and it's just left this big gaping concrete hole in the ground. But I think they were building a theatre there, and in the theatre, they had issues with the council, so it got cancelled. So now you've just got this amazing space. You can't really do much with it, but it looks great. When we were in there, by the way, it was ice cold. And it was ice cold. All of our dancers were freezing, and you couldn't actually hear much at all from your set. As you can imagine, sonically, it was terrible in there. Yeah. So when you were playing...
Intro.
Yeah, I'm like, I hope this sounds good. I've got no idea. But yeah, it's been an experience, this whole virtual streaming stuff. But I can't wait just to have some people and feed off some real energy and start playing again properly. I'm not desperate to do any more live streams just at the moment.
Hopefully that's coming again shortly, later on this year, to get back into the clubs again and stuff.
Yeah, I think so. I think I don't know, but I would guess final quarter of this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think Glitterbox just what they created, what you guys created, was as close to an experience as a club experience we're actually going to get right now. I think, isn't it? Like, you couldn't probably have done any more than what you guys done. Even like John says with the dancers there, because I tried to replicate it with John dancing in a bikini, but we couldn't quite capture the Glitterbox.
I need to see it. I must have missed that one. Send me the link.
Didn't even make the cut. That's one from my personal collection, John. Didn't quite make the cut, that one. But, I think it was what you did
after that one.
But you just get lost in the Glitterbox. Every time the next stream came over, it was just like the virtual streams were like, wow, the next level. So as long as you hiked it up in the house, it's probably as close as we were.
Yeah.
So I think it probably brought that to the homes.
I mean, having the dancers it's great because it adds so much. It takes a bit of heat off the DJ. But also they're all part of the family, and they're just as important as the DJs. Like, if we're playing sometimes, if I'm playing at high and Lucy Fizz comes walking out with every bit of her energy and she's on the stage next to me and she's dancing, no one's looking at me. it's like one of the Marvel characters have just come out. Like people, our dancers are so special to us. They're on a level with or above so many of the DJs. They're so important to us. So when we had them on the live stream, they're part of the family. So it just felt like a necessary part to have them involved.
Yeah, I think it's that link between the crowd and the DJ, I think, isn't it? They just seem to just fill the gap, really, isn't it? And just they seem to light people up, get them going, really. A lot of your things radio as well, Melvo, isn't it? You're Mr. Glitterbox Radio, and the shows you put out are just phenomenal. The standard and the original ideas, we're always enjoying them.
Oh, good. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Especially the one that just launched today, was it? The 200th episode?
Yeah, 3.5 hours.
Yeah, wow.
I didn't plan to make it 3.5. I sat down and started making it, and then I was like, right, let's do 2 hours. Then I was like, I'm into 3. And then I was like, I'm over 3 now. I may as well just do another half an hour. Yeah, do you know what? Of all the different things I do in terms of A&R or production or DJing, anything, radio is my first love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I always say there's nothing. My missus might go mad at me when I say this, but there's nothing I can compare in life, right? I know it sounds really cheesy.
We'll edit that bit out.
I'm going to whisper. She's in the other room. There's nothing that compares when you're in a studio and everything's happening and everything's loud and you've got your music's ready that you're going to play.
Yep.
People are in the studio and you push the fader up, the red light comes on and everything goes silent.
Mm.
And it's just you and your headphones and it's the listeners and your voice. That moment for me, it never fails to make me feel amazing.
That's brilliant. That's interesting. You can even compare it to a club set. You know what I mean? To enjoy it to that level. Yeah,
I do. Yeah, I adore radio. I think it's such an amazing medium of connecting people to music and to records, and you can create a feeling before you play a record. And I know Spotify and iTunes have algorithms where they can recommend new music, and I lean on that quite a lot. Yes, it's great, but don't tell me that can do a better job than what Benji B can when he says, listen, this record dropped yesterday. It's been beating me up all night. I've played it 20 times. It was produced by Madlib and they're going to love this. Bang.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa. Yeah.
I think it's the openness to it as well, the freedom of what you can play as well. Because listening back to that, and one of the previous guests had picked Kool and the Gang, Summer Madness, and it's just like, wow, just to hear that again, like that should always be revisited. That's music that should never die. So to have the kind of the platform for Glitterbox to still let the new generation of people that might have slipped through the net for some people to hear that again, you know, and the freedom that you have on there is phenomenal, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you say that when we initially started the show, which I mentioned for the first time in this show, when we started it, we had this feature where a guest would come on and pick 3 records.
Yeah. And
everyone just thought that was how it was supposed to be, but it wasn't. Like, that idea came up about 24 hours before the first show was due to go out. And I haven't told this story before, but our very first guest.
Exclusive here, Paul.
Yes, it's exclusive. Our
very first guest. I don't even know if I should say this because I don't think he knows either. But our very first guest was Aeroplane, Vito.
Okay.
Big love to you, mate. And the idea was, when I first joined, we didn't really know how it was going to look, the radio show, how it was going to feel. We just knew we wanted to celebrate classic house and disco. And the idea was that we would ask a guest to do us a 1 hour guest mix. That would be the radio show, and I would present it. So I would say, welcome guys, this week, our mix comes from Aeroplane, go into it. And I would name the tracks as they went. But then we realized after getting his mix the very first time, he was playing some jazz bits, a couple of hip hop bits.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't Glitterbox. It's not the essence of the show. We want classic house and disco.
Yeah.
Literally about 24 hours before it was due to go out, I'm sat with Simon and Tom, and we just said, look, we need to change the format. So we said, look, we'll build a show of what we want it to sound and feel like. I'll pick the music, and then I'll ask the guest to pick 3 tracks in the middle, and then it worked. We said, right, let's do another one, and then it ended up just rolling out for about 1.5 years.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. I just think that freedom that it gives to, I think you've got more control over it to a certain extent, because otherwise, God, you'd be taking on a trip into all sorts of music, really, wouldn't it? You don't actually know where it would end.
Well, we get it picking 3 records sometimes. I look at the records and I'm like, you could have chosen any 3 you wanted, and you've chosen these. And it could be
like Gaelic Rave and all that sort of stuff.
That sounds like a brilliant genre, John. I want to check it out.
An untapped one. Need to go on that.
How does that go?
How did you just come up with that so quickly?
No, John's been working on this, I think.
Working on some tracks right now, Melvo. I'll send them over to you when I'm done.
He's been quiet recently, Melvo. I think he's been working on a new genre, secretly trying to promote it.
I know, on track source. I can see it already.
It's the next big thing, I tell you.
Brilliant. No, the radio shows just seem to, I think, again, they've reached out. It's another way to connect with the family and probably reach out to an even wider audience, I think, now more than ever, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. I purposely make the shows to feel up. We could go, obviously you could go way left wonky with some really clever, obscure disco and rare groove and stuff, but that's never been the idea of the show. It's like, look, let's let people escape to this show for an hour, a real feel-good hour, and just to mix it up with the right classic records, with the right new records, and picking from yesteryear as well. And also knowing that although some people have been listening since day one, some people just started listening last week. So it's important never to steer too far away from the message that we want to deliver with the show.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, definitely.
So you're obviously really passionate about music and you want to share it with as many people as possible, really. So where did it all begin for you? How did you kind of get started on this journey? How did you get into the music yourself?
So I guess to begin with, super early influences for me was my dad, who's a massive soul boy, big record collector, but he was never a DJ, but he was a dancer, like on the soul scene in London,
right,
for years. And now he's in a group on Facebook called Soul Boys, Soul Girls, and he's forever posting loads of music. So my dad is an absolute muso. So for me, that's definitely where it started. Big Teddy fan, big Barry White fan.
Yeah.
Then as I got older, him and obviously my uncle Norman J have always been super tight forever. My dad would always be going to his gigs. They traveled together. And then from when I was young, I would go to Norman's gigs. Carnival was like a family party where we'd all go and spend the weekend there. And I was just around everyone. So if he was around Giles or Jazzy B or Rodigan, and they were all just around each other all the time, Femi Fem. So I was just around it a lot when I was younger. And then as I got older, just started to throw some little parties kind of local to me in West London, just nicking Norman's music, his records. I stole everything. I literally just
a few grooves missing, a few gouges out there.
I just copy everything he did. I just copied it. I did. So yeah, that's how it started, I guess. And then it just kind of developed from there. I decided to go and get my own radio show and say, right, let's get into this sharing music stuff. And kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah. I think there's massive influence there's a certain point of your childhood, I think, when the music you're hearing at that point, I think really sinks in at some point, because I'm the same. My dad and my mum as well, disco, soul stuff. In the car, it was always on. And it's kind of like we've all gone full circle and we've thought, right, actually, this stuff is the best, really, to be fair. We've tried our best to find other stuff elsewhere that might match this, but it seems to be in your blood at that point, doesn't it? It's in your soul.
I agree.
Just wait until the Gaelic Rave hits the scene. It's going to change the whole game.
Do you know what, John? I'll try that with my niece, and if my niece likes it in 30 years' time, then we know that's the story.
There we go.
A new John was born.
I agree. When it's embedded in you from young, I guess it's just in you. Sometimes I look at it the other way and I think, how much music was I deprived from hearing because my dad was such a soul boy, and start Googling, get to 14 and start Googling Spandau Ballet and thinking, okay, what does this music sound like? Because my dad, there was no kind of, I don't know, any British kind of pop rock, anything like that. It was all strictly soul, rare groove, boogie, funk, disco, a little bit of reggae. Yeah,
just feel good music.
Yeah.
No, you're definitely suited for the job at the helmet Glitterbox, definitely, because I just think with the Glitterbox stuff, it's not only just embrace the past, but it's kind of set the future. You're looking at another minimum 10 years of people loving that music, I think, with the whole new generation that's come through enjoying the music. So that's why I really admire what you guys have done at Glitterbox, because it's kind of set up a scene in the future, not just for the moment, you know?
I agree. And do you know what? A lot of it as well, when people say Glitterbox, they just go disco. But when you actually look at some of the lineups for the nights, if you look at Roger Sanchez or Honey Dijon, they're not disco DJs. They're just great, legendary DJs.
Yeah.
And so for me, a great part about Glitterbox was it was just celebrating great music again. It was saying, look, you can stand on a dance floor at 4 a.m. and just hear a great song. It doesn't have to be just a thumping minimal record, which was Ibiza.
Yeah.
There was every club in Ibiza sounded the same at 2 and 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I remember it. I know.
And everyone just accepted that, and Glitterbox kind of changed that culture a little bit. And a lot of the music that we're hearing that we get to play on the show, records that we're making now, it's not just about just disco. It's just great
good,
records.
Just feel good music, that freedom, good music, basically. Yeah.
And
how was it you became involved in the whole Glitterbox thing?
So I was at My Soul radio station in South London. Shouts Gordon Mack and the team. And I was doing a show there for, I don't know, about 6 or 7 years or so. And then Bob Masters was part of the My Soul team as well. He did a show there. And Bob Masters and Simon Dunmore have been mates for years on years. And then one day, Simon, this is the early days of Glitterbox, he was throwing a party at Ministry of Sound.
Right.
And he wanted to theme the little room at the top, the loft, and he called it Cross the Tracks. And what he wanted in that room was a DJ to come in and just play some records and just play some rare groove stuff and keep it pretty chill, that kind of vibe in there. So he hit up Bob and said, do you know any young DJs that could come on board and play the loft all night? And Bob said, look, hit this guy Melvo up. Simon listened to a few of my shows on My Soul and then asked me to come and play. So I literally I think I was in Thailand at the time, just chilling. And I got a message on Facebook. It was from George, actually, who was the booker at the time, just saying, hey, it's George from Defected. And don't forget, at this point, I had no connection with Defected at all. Right. Nothing. None of us followed each other. I was aware, I knew who Defected and Glitterbox were, but there was no kind of relationship at all.
Yeah.
And then I just got a message pop up saying, hey, do you want to come and play at Glitterbox in the loft? I was like, whoa. Played, went well, played again, went well. And then I sent Si a message and said, look, let's start a radio show.
Yeah, because that's what you were comfortable with then. You know that's worked. He's obviously heard that he knew you were good for the radio shows as well at that point, because it's, I think that's part
I guess he'd heard, yeah.
Loaded.
Yeah, and I knew Sam Devine from years before that, just on the scene.
Yeah.
And I knew they had the Defected show, and I was like, hold on a sec, you got this Defected show that's banging every week. We've got this Glitterbox brand. Why have we not got a show? So I just hit him up one day and just said, look, let's do it.
Nice.
I think we had Sam on before for a chat, and we were all kind of agreeing that it's the team behind Defected and the team behind Glitterbox. Everybody just knows the role, it's their strengths, and just together, it's like there just seems to be such a good energy behind the scenes that it kind of shines through. We don't know a lot about who's doing a lot of the work, but you just know that who's in there is suited to their role, and they're all kind of driving the same direction, aren't they?
Honestly, some of the super brains at Defected is nuts. Like when I joined, I felt like I knew a bit about music.
Yeah.
And you walk in there and you slot straight in right at the bottom level of knowing anything about the game. Because between all of them, Simon, Wes, Luke Solomon, Seamus Harji, I think you had on before. I mean, Seamus wasn't there at the time. I think when I walked in, it was Simon, Wes, Luke Solomon, Andy Daniel at the time. And these guys know everything about everything. They know what records will work, what records won't.
Yep.
Who to choose for a remix, the whole strategy behind releasing records. They just know it all.
Yeah, that's the experience.
Yeah. And even now, from the marketing team to the social team, nothing is done by accident. Everything is set up with an absolute strategy and a plan behind it.
Yeah.
And that goes from
especially
events.
over the last year, it's kind of shown just how strong the team is over there. Because like with the way things have went over the last year, it would have been easy for things to kind of fade away, I guess. But you guys have went the total opposite way, and it's just like what you've done over the last year during all this has been amazing, really. You know.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying thank you on behalf of the entire team because those guys do work hard. Simon knows exactly what he wants, and when he wants it, the whole team get that. And I guess we were fortunate that we were kind of going that direction anyway. Like our social team were super hot before this all happened. And we had already done a few live streams and stuff.
Yep.
And we had the team in place. So I guess we were slightly fortunate in a way there. So the day that it all stopped,
became the focus, didn't it? Became the focus at that point.
Became everything. Everything. Yeah.
No, it's really exciting times to see. I just think because it's not even just so much all the people that have loved the music over the years. It's the new generation. It's that young generation. There seems to be such an energy and excitement from a whole new generation, which is the most kind of comforting thing about it all, because you know it's going to go the distance, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, for me, the most important thing about when we're booking DJs or some of the music we play on the show is finding that balance between, we know there's people who have loved Defected 20 years ago who are now coming to Glitterbox parties, but there's also kids who are 18 and 19. So it's just finding that right balance. And musically, you need guys like Dan Shake there. You need Jada G. They're a follow more. They're important.
Yeah.
They're important. Make sure they're standing alongside the legends as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's just kind of unearthing the new talent and embracing it, really, isn't it? Yeah,
because they'll do it differently. They'll do it fresher. They'll do it in their way, and it's nice to hear.
Yeah, definitely. What would you say some of your kind of highlights then, Melvo, and what kind of goals have you got ahead then? What are you aiming for musically? I know it's a bit uncertain at the minute, really, but where would you like to be? What would you like to aim for?
I say there was a line as a rapper from London years ago, and he said about having a platform and what are you going to do with it? And I've always been of the mind of look, if I'm getting some followers on social media, what are you doing with this platform?
Yeah.
And for me, it's always been that's why radio has always been a big thing for me. I'm like, you've got a platform here. Don't try and make it all about yourself. Share some music, share some people. Right, he's great, she's great. And we're just about to launch the Remedy project, which is a label that I'll be heading up within Defected as a sub-label.
Brilliant.
And that's exactly what the Remedy is. It's look, I've got all these young guys all throughout the world who are making great music who people are not looking at and they can't get the recognition. And I've got a platform, so let's give it to them.
Yeah.
So we've got this brand new office where we can shoot some amazing videos for them. We can talk about them on Defected channels. I'm like, this is amazing. So next up for me, there's a lot of energy going into that. The Remedy project is my baby. It'll be a monthly radio show. And we'll be signing some music from young guys that hopefully is stuff that we'll still be enjoying in 20 years' time.
That sounds great. It sounds like a really good opportunity for that next generation coming through and getting them out there as well.
Absolutely. And there's so many out there. They just can't get noticed. If a major label hasn't snapped you up or you haven't got an amazing Instagram account or something, you just can't get out there.
Yeah.
But I can say, look, I know him, he can help produce for you, or I know her, she can play this for you. Okay, right, you should work with him and just try and orchestrate it a little bit and just give these guys a platform. So in terms of what I'm looking forward to is that I'm looking forward to the continued growth of Glitterbox. I do look at it like it's not my baby, it's Simon's baby, but I'm so attached to it all. I'm looking forward to the growth of the comeback once clubs are open again.
Yep.
And you mentioned about highlights. Do you know, of all the things I could think of highlights wise, I always come back to it's High Ibiza.
Yeah.
And it's imagine when you're young and you think about DJing and you're like, one day I want to be playing in that club, or it all hit me in that moment. I'm stood up there and there's 5,000 people in front of me, and it's just ocean of heads.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I just went, this is it. Like, this is it. This is what I've always thought about. And like that was definitely like a real moment. You come off the stage and you're full of adrenaline, like you've just been in a boxing match.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a highlight that sticks out for me, definitely.
Yeah, that feeling. Just to take it back to your label as well, Melvo, the Remedy label, what would you look for in music, people submitting music to you then? If there's producers out there, aspiring producers and artists that are obviously going to be sending you a lot of music off the back of the chit chats and stuff, what are you looking for?
So I know a lot of labels are very much genre specific and they're focused on deep house or focused on electro, whatever. A lot like the radio shows that I put out, it's not genre specific. I just want to work with forward thinking young musicians making contemporary music. Mm-hmm. Guys who we can maybe put on at a live event if I'm doing some live nights. Guys who I want to work with, guys who I like, guys who I could see turning into something a lot more than what they currently are at the moment, if I can see potential in them. Mm-hmm. But foremost, I just want to sign great music. Yep. So that could mean a jazz record from Jitam or Kamal Williams. It could mean a slightly more hip-hop record, let's say from Children of Zeus. Really? If we could get a Tom Misch record on a more kind of folky vibe, electronic, it might be there. Yeah. I guess like Ninja Tune are not genre specific. They sign great artists and great music. Yeah. The project will be in that kind of world.
Yeah. I think that's interesting that you say that as well, people that you can work with. I think that's massive because you look at the people who are still big in the game today, you just know that they're the humble, approachable people from the early scene, aren't they? The ones that people could work with. I think that's everything at the end of it, isn't it, really? Can you work with these people? Is there good energy behind what they're doing? And are they positive? Because without that, you're dragging somebody along, isn't it?
Are you selling your show, the name of your radio show, eh? Only good vibes.
Exactly. Well, yeah, you said that. You just said it there, Mel. Exactly. Only good vibes. Exactly.
Sound like that, Melvo.
You've just summed it up for us. We're going to use this as the advert.
There you go. I saw your T-shirt. I couldn't help it.
Yeah. Brilliant. That is true. I think it just boils down to that. Just good vibes and the same people with similar mindsets working together, really, isn't it?
Honestly, I can't. I have no time for people sometimes who, for some reason, just think they have this God-given right to just be really difficult or rude or horrible. That's not just in music. That's just in life. Just be nice to people, man. You have no idea what they're going through in their own head or behind closed doors or at home. So just be nice.
That's the best advice we've had, John. I think on all the chats, all the guests we've
had.
Be
nice.
The simplest, best advice.
I'll be like, I know you're angry, I know you're upset, and whatever. Just chill, out.
You put out good vibes, you get good vibes back. So you should always be positive, shouldn't you?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
John, you've not got the T-shirt on. What's going on? I thought John, you'd have the T-shirt on the night.
I thought you might have sent me one beforehand.
I will send you one down, Melvo. Don't worry. We've only just sprinted them up.
It's a great time for that project as well, Melvo, because like a lot of people have been sitting working on music this last year, and they've probably been getting really creative with it because they've had so much time to work on it. You know. Yeah,
and I guess. I'm kind of quickly learning that there's two types of artists out there, and a lot of the music we have been releasing for years, they're kind of DJ producers, and that's DJs who are kind of making a record just to get themselves gigs.
Yeah.
And then you've got your artists who is totally in it 24/7. They don't want to hear we can put you on some gigs. We can give you a gig for Defected. They don't want to hear that. They don't care about that. They're not DJs.
Yeah.
So it's very personal. If they've written an amazing song or they've done everything, they might have produced it and written it. You've just got to be very careful in how you speak and how you deal, because it's very personal to them. And that's just going to be so beautiful about the project. Yeah, it's nice.
I can't wait to hear what comes out of that. I think that's going to be something fairly incredible.
Thank you, man. Thank you. The debut release is out on March the 12th. Hadia George, Hot Flavour, with remixes from Kylie Tatham and Nick Godmode, and yeah, it's hot.
Nice one. So it's exciting times ahead, I think, new ideas. I think. Where can people find out more about it? Just the kind of obvious pages, Melvo, your social pages on Glitterbox possibly as well, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure when this goes out, but if you just follow me on Instagram, you will see all the information coming out in the next couple of days. Yep. So kind of, where are we? End of Jan. Yep. So you'll see loads of info and promo in Feb.
What year is this, Mel? I don't know what year this is.
I've got no idea.
Is it summer?
Is this a weekday?
The other day I posted on my story and I put I posted a song and I put perfect Sunday music. And then within minutes, I had loads of messages coming through saying, it's Friday, Melvo.
Oh, I've been close to that before, but I always double check it as well.
Yeah, our brains just stop working sometimes.
It sums this period in time right up, doesn't it? It's like a never-ending Christmas holiday, really, isn't it? You don't know what time it is, what day it is.
Occasionally, I'm like, I quite like this, like just being in my little den and not having to leave it ever. There's something quite nice about it.
Yeah.
But other times I'm like, just get me back to the fun stuff.
You can only watch so much Netflix, though. I mean, it does after a while.
I'm glad you said Netflix.
There's the other the adult variety as well, Melvo, but there's only so much of that as well, I guess, eh?
Yeah, we definitely need this bit.
Me and John just passed the time, don't we, John? Just having a chit chat on here. That's how it grew. Me and John just started talking. We thought, let's invite other people on to talk to us. We were just lonely, Melvo, and we thought, let's get some guests on for a chat.
You've had, I checked out a few of them beforehand. It's been a wonderful little ride on here, I've noticed.
Yeah, it's just,
yeah,
I think we're just
pretty
trying.
good. We've been on here non-stop, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
I've never seen so much of Paul before. Like, we've known each other for over 20 years, but like this year has been like,
yeah,
I'm actually sick of seeing him now.
Something beautiful's happened. It's been a bromance has blossomed. Honestly, it's been a special moment.
If that's something that's come out of this lockdown, then yeah, that's an amazing thing. But, I can go on.
Yeah, we just reached out to a lot of people to try and support them because we knew how grim it's been, and it seems to have given people, like you say, a platform basically to help. Right, what are you up to? Connect with their fans in a way, and reach out and say, right, better times ahead. Here's what's going on just now,
Absolutely. Well, it's been important for. I mean, there's a lot of DJs. Like, thankfully, I'm part of a team at Defected, so I can bounce stuff off these guys. But a lot of DJs at the moment, they're not part of a firm, or they're not, so they're kind of just out there by themselves at the moment. So
yep.
if you're speaking to these guys and making them feel loved and giving them a bit of promo, and I'm sure it's well received.
Yep. It's great learning about all the different scenes around the world as well, and seeing what everybody else is up to. It's been quite a big learning experience for us as well.
I know, you think you've done your history learned your history over the years, then you start talking to some people, and it's just like, wow, you know what I mean? It's straight for the mouth, this is how it was, and you're just like, yes, it's phenomenal. That's what I mean.
Wow.
John has done a lot, I think.
Yeah, I bet. And things just keep changing as well. So you never know what little scenes are popping up or what's going on all over the world, do you?
So you were talking as well, Melvo, about like you quite like the lockdown kind of lifestyle to a certain extent. That, John, this is probably a question for you as well. What's some of the random lockdown buys that you gents have randomly purchased online? Is there any kind of because everyone's just buying random things right now, aren't they?
Well, I bought this. Hold on.
Just want to prepare earlier. I never even give you a heads up on this. Oh yeah.
Oh, you pull-up bar.
It's a pull-up bar, but it doesn't fit on any of my door frames. It just started ripping the architrave off. So that's a silly one. Yeah, I haven't used that at all.
I think I've got the exact same one.
Did you buy it in lockdown, John?
No, I had that one before lockdown, actually. I've only probably used it like once during lockdown anyway.
Probably just sold it to Melvo. Did you buy it on eBay by any chance, Melvo? So I think
well, it doesn't work very well. It's just kind of sat there ever since. But
I've actually spent a small fortune on Amazon over the last year. It's ridiculous.
John,
I'm actually scared to look and check how much I spent on it.
I'd best not. No, you're worth a look.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I haven't done. I haven't read one single book.
Oh, I've tried. It's just you don't put the time in for the books then, Melvo, no.
No, it annoys me because I really want to be one of those guys who says, yeah, I just read this book and I recommend it. But I haven't finished one.
So what I've been doing is Audible. So you listen to audiobooks. So when you go out for a walk or a run, you've got the audiobook on the go.
That's a great idea, but I don't. I'll tend to put on like a Joe Rogan podcast or something.
Oh, Joe Rogan is the man. All about a bit of Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I pretty much get all of my opinions in life from Joe. I get all my education from Joe Rogan.
That's a solid education right there.
Yeah, don't go to school, kids. Just listen to Joe.
I think there's a new podcast in there, the book chat with Melvo Baptiste. I think talking about latest books and stuff, Melvo, and what you recommend.
I could probably try and blag. I could blag it for you.
Yeah. It's like the new Richard and Judy.
The Mike Tyson hot boxing podcast, that's pretty interesting as well. Some good guests on that one.
I'm a massive boxing fan.
Oh yeah?
Massive boxing fan, yeah. So I do watch a lot of that as well, yeah.
Oh, nice one. Do you do any boxing? Do you do any training or anything?
No. My only claim to a bit of boxing was I did it for about 2 years with a coach in Ealing, but I was terrible. I was terrible. Didn't move very well. Was so slow. Just get beaten up.
It's good fun until you get hit in the face.
Exactly that. I actually remember my first ever session with him. I had no idea why he did this, but he said to put the gloves on, and we did a couple of little exercises and how to block, how to move, whatever. And then he said, right, let's go. And he just started throwing punches at me. And he had me up against a glass and he was kind of hitting me a few times. And I said, right, that's enough. Stop. And he said, no, you'll stop when the round's finished.
You hit the canvas.
Talk about
that was the very first one I ever did. And I guess he was trying to teach me something, but yeah.
He taught you to be a DJ and not a boxer, basically. Life lesson right there, wasn't it?
He did. But I do love boxing. I watch all of it.
Nice one. Just come back to the music briefly, Melvo. With your roles in A&R, what would you say? What would you kind of advice would you give to people that are maybe trying to get their music out there and try to get people to notice their music and being able to hear their music as well?
I would say, firstly, I guess it's probably not a first thing to say. I should say this last, but if your music is ever turned down by a label, never feel disheartened by that. Mm-hmm. It's not usually a reflection on your music. It's usually a reflection on where that label are at that point in time, the direction they're going in, the sound they're looking for, how busy their release schedule already is. So never get too disheartened by that. Mm-hmm. And just keep working on your craft. Producers might have, the guys who are releasing music in their 20s are probably releasing music much better in their 30s. You do just get better with time and experience. Yep. In terms of, for me personally, I'd say try not to make your music too formulaic. Is that a word?
Yeah. Good enough for us. Good enough for two Scots. You've got your own language up here anyway, Melvo, don't worry.
That's great. Yeah, start spreading formulaic, just in case anyone says it's not a word. Just say, look, Melv said it's a word. Just try not to make it too formulaic, like, right, it's got to be dance music, so it's got to start like this and go like this. Just feel it, try to get some ideas. Don't be afraid to work with musicians. Don't be afraid to bounce it off not just your friends, but outside of that, and see what they think about it. And I guess it's not a bad thing thinking about your end goal. Like, what do you want out of this? Where do you want it to be? And then if you say, right, I want it to be on a playlist next to a Tom Misch record. Okay, listen to his records. Does it sound like that? No. Okay, cool. Keep working on it. Mm-hmm. Okay, I want it to be on a Defected radio show. Okay, listen to those records. Does my record sound like that? Yes, no. Keep working on it. Do courses and just keep working it.
Yep, that's good advice. I think I had another guest. It may have been Seamus that said the same thing. Like, tailor it to the labels. Don't just be spamming your track around about 50 labels, hoping somebody, like maybe try and tailor it, approach them, support them, and try and show what you can do. Specific sound of that label. Then I guess we could tie the two in there. Like I said, think about your own product. Like, if you want to sound like this, then think of the other records that have been released on that label and think, right, does my record sound like that? Is it up to a standard? Yep.
But yeah, that's all really I'd say from an A&R point of view. And I guess people who are making music, they love it. they love making music. They're not just going to appear and disappear. So they just got to keep at it and just enjoy the journey.
Yep.
Awesome. And do you think the industry's ready for Gaelic Rave yet, or is it too early?
I don't know. I think I reckon if we round this up and we play a couple of records, I'll have a little dance to them and we'll see what the vibe is.
Do you know what I'm hearing in my head right now? Like violins, bagpipes, and a donk on it. You know what I mean?
And it's got to be fast. It's got to be really fast.
Insanely fast that you can't even dance to it. You know. Like...
Well, if we're not doing workouts at home, we could just listen to some Gaelic Rave and get a little sweat on, do some chin-ups.
Sounds ideal.
Get a bit weird.
Yes, that's one way to spend your lockdown, I think, innit? We don't want to keep you too much longer, Melvo. It's been a pleasure having a chat with you, and again, just kind of bigging up what you guys are doing at Glitterbox. It's just so inspiring to what me and John kind of aspire to do as well, and it's just great to see that the foundations are set and so many people excited and such a young generation enjoying it. It's great times ahead, I think, once this eases off.
Amazing. Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, I think the same. I hope that we can keep doing what we're doing. Hopefully people are still engaged and enjoying it, and we'll just keep pushing music forward, which is important.
Brilliant.
Yeah, thanks very much for taking the time to chat to us, and I look forward to hearing what's coming out in the Remedy project as well.
Amazing, John. Thank you, mate.
And look out in the inbox for John's Gaelic Rave that'll be dropping in your Hotmail account.
Yeah, the email not to open, the one's
just a chick impression and it's good to go.
Cowbell, just loads of cowbell.
Yeah, cowbell and bagpipes. Right, no, you take care, Melvo. I'm sure hopefully you'll come on and chat to us again soon and at more positive times, eh?
Cheers, Paul. Yeah, hopefully, mate.
Brilliant. Take care of yourselves. Speak to you soon.
See you soon. Big love. See you later.